This week's Torah portion of Parshat Pinchas reveals an outstanding attribute with regards to the sincerity of leadership, something that obviously haunts us consistently, even in the present day, in the climate that we find ourselves, particularly here in Eretz Yisrael, and with President Biden's visit this week, and so on and so forth. And what's interesting is that as Moshe approaches the end of his life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu instructs him and says, Kach lecha, take for you et Yoshua bin Nun ish asher ruach bo, a certainly spiritual and certainly legitimate leader who will follow you, v'samachta et yadecha alav, and you should place your hand singular upon his head, symbolizing the fact that he is now ascending to that leadership and certainly ascertaining and positioning himself to assume that mantle and that role. But what's interesting is that when we look at the actual act after Moshe is directed by Hashem to place his one hand on Yoshua's head, the Torah confirms, Vayismoch et yadav alav Vayitzaveu kasher diber Hashem biyad Moshe. In actuality, when Moshe takes Yoshua to assume that mantle of leadership symbolically, he does not place his hand on Yoshua's head, he places his hands, plural, both of his hands on Yoshua's head. And the Rashar here says that this comes to emphasize a tremendous attribute in Moshe. Moshe was directed to place one hand, but he took both his hands and placed them on Yoshua's head, confirming and ascertaining that indeed, not only am I willing, not only am I prepared to give over my leadership to you, Yoshua, but I am excited to do so. I do so with a full heart, with enthusiasm, and knowing wholeheartedly that you, Yehoshua, as my student, are capable and loyal to assuming this particular position. Moshe, even though he knows it's the end of his days and he knows that he is, so to speak, losing his position of authoritative power, and he is passing it over to someone who he may perceive as his junior, Moshe does so willingly, hopefully, and certainly excitingly, knowing that his student will be able to assume that position. He places both of his hands upon Yoshua's head, says Rabbi Raphael Hirsch. This demonstrates Moshe's attribute of modesty, humility, and knowing that in the end of the day, I need to do what's best for the Jewish people. And what's best for the Jewish people right now is that I stand down and give over that assumption, that rulership, that leadership quality, and that ability to my student Yoshua. This is what makes an outstanding leader. This is the Torah way, Moshe's way, the Jewish way, and it always will remain the Gila way. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you once again for joining us. Please remember to consider subscribing to the page below and send me your comments. I will get back to you. Have a great day.